What if a podcast didn't really have a point? But that was the point. This is the randomness of E, where we embrace the randomness of thought, one mental zigzag at a time. I'm just E, and if you've ever followed a thought down a rabbit hole, you're in the right place. You may also wonder if you've heard my voice before, and you have. I have a podcast named E Says, P Says that I record with my hubby, which discusses our relationship and marriage of 36 years. If you have a moment, take a listen. I created this podcast because, as I said, I wanted to share my randomness. You never know how sharing your journey can help someone else. If you are joining us for the first time, last week I discussed inspiration and how I located a mentor that helped me to move forward on my path of podcasting instead of moving to nothingness. So, welcome to the second episode where I discuss motherhood. What is it, and who determines how it is defined? If you're here for the first time, welcome. Sit back and enjoy. So, way this topic came about is as I was doing research for another podcast, 8 hours later with the stream queen, where one of the things I discuss is my love of British crime dramas. I started watching a show called Professor T. It is a British crime drama. It is a British crime drama about a criminal justice professor that assists the police with crimes in the area. And similar to the Monk series, Professor T has OCD as well as trauma issues from his growing up with an abusive parent. I don't believe that Monk had an abusive background, but I do know that the OCD in the Monk character, if you watch the Monk series, it was about a American detective that had OCD, which really kicked into overdrive after his wife, Trudy, was killed. And he was a great detective. So he came back to the police department and, because they needed his help. And the reason he came back also was he wanted to find out who killed his wife. So if you're interested in a oldie but a goodie, check out Monk. I do believe it's playing on Peacock. If not, you can Google it and find out where. So I so as I was talking about the way that I enjoy British crime dramas, I'm not sure why I fell in love with British crime. It could be the accents or their particular spin on crime stories and the topics they choose to broadcast. It could also be the depth and thought that is needed to follow the twists and turns as the crimes is being solved. And just when you think there is a formula, they switch it up on you. What's not to love? So, as I'm watching the main character, Professor T, he gets sick with appendicitis and ends up in the hospital. And as this is happening, someone is asking his mother, I think it's either a reporter or somebody from the police department, how she feels about her son being sick. And his mom, MUM, mom, British, Adelaide Tempest, responds with the best definition of motherhood I've ever heard. It is a privilege and burden with boundless love. I believe she did better than dictionary.com that says the state of being a mother, maternity, the qualities or spirit of a mother, mothers collectively, which to me does not capture the depth and weight of being a mother. And it is something that you have to experience for yourself. And I am sure all mothers feel a particular way about their journey. So, as many mothers as there are on this planet, I am sure there are definitions of motherhood. And I define motherhood as your heart beating outside of your body. I think I heard that in a movie or show I once watched. And that definition encompasses it all for me. Similar to the need you would have to protect your heart, you feel the same about your child or children. You want to wrap them in bubble wrap so that nothing and no one can harm them. It hurts to watch them change and grow because you know that the time you have with them to yourself is growing shorter. You are also ready to fight anything, anyone, or any obstacle that impedes them from progress or attempts to hurt them. The first heartbreak, loss of a game or sport they participate in, not getting into the college they want or the special job they always saw themselves getting, those pains are just like you feeling them again when it happened to you. And you know, no matter what you do, you can't protect them from life happening. Or if you are in jail, so you can't fight everyone. So you have to take a deep, deep, deep breath. Thank God for the privilege of allowing you to be part of this person's life and just love, hug, encourage, educate, and let go so that they can thrive. And the letting go part is so, so difficult. Oh, whenever they call you, you just want to jump into mommy mode and solve everything. But you have to keep breathing, listening, loving, and sharing your experience with the situation, hoping that will be enough. And trust that you gave them everything they needed to become the best young adult, husband, wife, parent, employee, or employer that they can be. So, how do you define motherhood? I'd like to hear from you. Thanks so much for listening. And remember, I'm just a person sharing my randomness. If you find that there is a need for further research or discussion on something, please reach out to a professional. I can be found on most social media platforms as the randomness of each, so be sure to follow and subscribe so you can keep up with all my random thoughts. Comments, questions, and suggestions are always welcome. Just post it on one of my pages. Looking forward to this new journey. And feel free to listen to current episodes of E Says, P Says. Unfortunately, we are currently on hiatus for a bit while the Mister is convalescing. You can also check out our website, mockmediagroup.com, where you can listen and learn about all things mock. You can check out our merch and other teas as well as pick up a copy of Paul's book, Vignettes from a South Central Sun Part 1. Want to do more? Support us by filling our cup at buymeacoffee.com/Mock Media Group or subscribe on any podcast platform so you don't miss an episode. Thanks for joining us. Have a good day.